Because when you guys, if I just jump back to me, go into your osteopath, your chiro, your physio, one of the things that more or less every single one of you watching will have been told to do is bend down to touch your toes. How far can you go? And then you might do something, you'll see this all the time online, and say, look, John came in and this is all he could do and now he can do this. Look, his lower back's moving so much better. And this flexion extension series shows that this is really, it's an illusion. And I talk about illusions all the time with regards to spinal mobility. And this just demonstrates it really, really nicely. So if we go back, we can see, and I'll demonstrate it on me, and then you guys will see, that in the first view, Shane is pretty much stood up straight. And I'm sure, Shane, you'll be able to remember this perhaps. He's pretty much stood up straight and it's like, that's as far as I can go. In the second view, we can see that Shane's going over to here, and then it's, that's as far as I can go. Obviously, we don't have a companion photograph of Shane, but we do have the images. In 2025, Shane is bending over a lot more, isn't he? Well, yeah, he is. We can see that from the physical, right? His body's at a completely different angle over here. Get the pen back on. Over here, completely different angle. But his total curve is, oh wow, 24.4. So Shane's lumbar range of motion, fundamentally, at the gross level, has not changed 1 degree. He has exactly the same range of motion. And the thing is, and what I really want to hit home to you guys, is that in the clinical environment, you would see this and you'd think that one image is loads better than the other in the physical exam. But you see when we look here, all that's happening from image 1 to image 2, or flexion 2024 to flexion 2025, is that he's just better at actually hinging about the hips. It hasn't moved in a year, and we'll see some things a little bit later on. And so for a lot of people, they're trying to improve that measure by just engendering a degree of hypermobility, pulling their knees towards the chest, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's a problem, and I'll, again, touch on that a little bit later on. But my point here is, you guys, that is not a good measure. How you feel bending over is not a good measure of your progress, because you don't know how far you're actually bending or not bending from the joints that we're talking about. And too often, people look at the lumbar spine, or try to look at the lumbar spine in the same way they might look at a knee. And they say, oh, well, I'm bending over more, so it must be better. No. No more movement is going through L4-5 than L5 and L5-S1 than it was a year ago. But too many people are trying to do that with the lumbar spine. And we see here that there is no significant changes in the lumbar spine range of motion. So it's an invalid measure to use as our means of evaluating how healed am I. Oh, well, I can touch my toes. Okay, but that's all coming from your hips. That's not coming from your lower back. So nothing's changed in that regard.